What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. Today we have the top 10 weapons in Battlefield 1. A quick disclaimer, I did not put them in any order. Why? Because they're all good, but it always depends on what map you're playing and what your playstyle is. I made sure to include a weapon from every single class, so if you're curious for your best weapon in your class, it's also included in this video. I hope you guys are going to enjoy. We're quickly going to go through them, so it should not be a very long video. First, we're starting with the Autoloading Extended on the Medic class. It's a very consistent, I think 16 or 17 bullet semi-automatic weapon with, if you have a good rate of fire, a good tap fire, you're going to be shredding people with this gun at a pretty decent range as well. With a nice iron sight, it can beam players from basically any range. Also with a very good hip fire, it kills players actually surprisingly fast up close, but you need a good rate of fire for it. So if you have a trigger finger, you're gonna love this weapon. Next we have the bar, and then personally, specifically, I would say the bar Storm with the less recoil variant. A very consistent weapon. Definitely be sure to use the AA sights instead of the standard iron sights. I think it makes the gun a lot more consistent. 20 bullets is tricky though. That is the hard part about using the bar. But one-on-one gunfights are going to be consistently winning if you have that right playstyle for this gun. So be sure to try out the bar. Make sure you don't play too aggressive. Position yourself well. Think about the reloads. Reloading does go pretty quickly with the bar though, but it's a bit of a tricky weapon to use with only 20 rounds in the mag. Next we have a tough weapon in my opinion to use, but once you master this gun, it's definitely one of the best consistent weapons in the entire game. I used to love this gun when it just came out. It is the Shosho. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Any French guy, let me know if I pronounce this gun correctly. It is on the support class in this game. It is a very consistent 3-shot up close. I personally prefer to use the iron sights on this gun, but I've seen people actually play very well with the scoped variant of this weapon. But I would recommend using the iron sights for this one. It's a very slow weapon. It might feel a little bit tricky to use in the beginning again, but once you master this gun, you're going to be killing players so much faster than they can kill you. And 20 rounds, by the way, feels like an extended mag with the rate of fire and damage that this gun can produce. You can kill a lot of players with just one mag. The next one here is what I think is the best support weapon in the entire game. It is the IMG 08 on the support class with a 100 rate of 100 rounds in the mag with a very high rate of fire. It kills extremely quickly. There are some more kind of lower weight LMGs in this game, but none of them really kill as quickly as the IMG. You also have the Parabellum, which is also very good. I didn't include the Parabellum in this top 10. The reason why, because I feel like it's very similar to the IMG, and I just feel like the IMG is just a tiny little bit better because of the lower recoil and a little bit more consistent kills at medium range. But they're both a very good option. The IMG, the only down part of this gun is the long reload. So once you have time to reload, be sure to do so. But if you're not sure you can reload, don't do it because it takes a long time. Up next we have the only sniper that I'm including in this top 10. And I know I'm going to get some comments about this, of missing some other certain snipers, but the SMLE marksman, only sniper that I'm including in this top 10. A lot of snipers are extremely good in this game, but it depends of course what map you're playing. So I might maybe make a different top 10 sniper class in this game, because the snipers are really popular in Battlefield 1. They're not the hardest to use, let's be honest. Out of all the battlefields, Battlefield 1 probably has the easiest sniping with the sweet spot, but you kind of gotta learn the sweet spot of each sniper. The reason why I picked the SMLE marksman out of all the snipers that are in the game is because, one, it has a good rate of fire. It has a very decent velocity. You can still kill players from range. You just gotta go for headshots. But the sweet spot range is actually very powerful if you think about it. It is from 35 to 75 meters. So it's a 40 meter sweet spot that this can have. But the range you're thinking about is actually a range you're gonna see a lot of enemies. Especially when you have a semi-aggressive playstyle. That's why I picked the SMLE Marksman. You have some long-range snipers out there that are very good, but I feel like most of the time the long-range snipers are not as effective on clearing the objectives or doing their job as the more aggressive snipers that play from medium range and actually put some pressure on objectives. So that's why the SMLE Marksman is usually a more useful sniper if you're trying to help your team and trying to gain more kills on the objective from medium range. You can also use the SMLE Marksman on a lot more maps than you can use the other snipers on. You also have snipers like the Martini, which is very good, but it is kind of a gun that you gotta be playing a little bit slower with than the SMLE Marksman. Even though the one-shot opportunities are a lot bigger with those guns, the SMLE Marksman just is more consistent and faster than any of the other snipers. Next up, back to the medic class for the next 3 guns actually. The Vedorov Optical. It is just a very versatile weapon that you can use on basically any map. I find it kind of a standard weapon, but it's a good standard weapon because it's quite consistent and it can just win the gunfights, has a decent reload, 30 rounds in the mag. So it's one of those kind of standard assault rifles that's just really good to use. Next up we have the FARO Optical, which might be the best medic gun in the game. Again, it kind of depends what maps you're playing, but I would overall say the FARO Optical is very consistent with the 3 shots. If you think about it, this gun with 21 rounds, you can kill 7 players with this if you're consistent and you don't miss your shots, which is really good for killing players with 1 mag. There's not a lot of weapons that can do that, apart from quite a lot of LMGs, of course. But the FARO, I would say, best medic weapon in the game. Consistent 3-shot kills with the optical. Just make sure you don't miss your shots with a fast reload as well on top of that. There's not really any downsides of this weapon besides that it might not kill the fastest point blank. Now we have one more medic class, the Self-Slatter 1916 Marksman, specifically the Marksman variant. The 3-shot kill range on this gun is insane, so you're actually going to be able to compete with snipers with this gun. The only problem is you're playing with a sniper scope on the gun, so up close it's going to be a little bit tricky to use. You can still kill players, but the rate of fire is also a little bit slower. So for the medium to long range medic weapon, it's probably the best option to go with the Self-Slatter 1916 Marksman. Now the next 2 guns are in a lot of people's hate list probably. We're starting off with the Hellriegel. It is an experimental weapon on the assault class, which you, I think, unlock at the very end when you're rank 10. But the Hellriegel is extremely good, consistent in every single situation, kind of playable on any map you want it to be. Of course, because it's an SMG, it doesn't get good at the medium range anymore. But because of the 60 bullets, or even using the other variant with the 120 bullets on maps like Argon Forest and Fort Devoe, you're going to get an insane amount of kills. The only down part of this gun is it does get beat by the higher rate of fire SMGs. So you got to be a little bit careful. But with 60 bullets, you're going to kill so many players. And it's an overall an incredible weapon. There's just one weapon that I would say beats it on the assault class. And that weapon is the SMG-08. Probably the most toxic weapon in the game. It's one of those weapons that you kind of are surprised by that it never got a nerf. The SMG-08 is super strong with a high rate of fire, super high rate of fire. It almost kills as fast as the Automatico weapon, but then you have 81 bullets with a pretty fast reload as well. You can overheat this weapon, so you cannot like fully go auto fire on this gun, but with 80 bullets you're gonna get so many kills. It just kills very fast, and with the combination of an extended mag, you're gonna be shredding and getting a lot of kills. So that is going to be it for the top 10 weapons in Battlefield 1. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think is the top, I would say 3. What's your top 3 favorite weapons in the game? It's going to be interesting. And if you kind of agree with this top 10, of course, you go by personal flavor, I guess you would say. But also you go by what situations you play. If you play a lot of Oil of Empire maps, the desert maps, of course, your top 10 is probably going to be full of snipers. But if you play certain other maps, you know, it always depends on what map and what game mode you're playing. But these top 10 weapons are what I would say overall the best ones you can use. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.